Hello, hello. Welcome to our Oneness conversation. We are in the month of February now, and our theme is love for this month. So it's always a joy and a pleasure to welcome you all here. If you're new to me or what I do, my name is Kim Lyde. I am a holistic healing coach and music therapist, and I work with quantum frequencies and energy and heart healing and lots of fun stuff like that. And I'm going to turn it over to our fearless leader, Judith, to open up our call today in our theme of love.
So thank you, Kim, and thank you, Joy. And it's such an honor and a privilege to walk with two young generations behind me in the process of really embracing life and the fullness of life and living it fully in the best way we can. And these themes are very indicative to the soul's journey forward to the always more of living from our full spiritual potentiality. So it's a blessing to speak to you again today from the Algonquin and Anishinaabe Sacred Territory on the land of Canada that blesses us with the ancient knowings and wisdoms of all our original peoples here since the beginning of time. And today, as we begin this wonderful gathering of like-minded souls talking together in the power of three people coming together to discuss a theme called love, and to have these people come from diverse parts of North America, one of the most abundant places on earth that is blessed to be living in peace and harmony in a way by which we try to live in a way that we honor and respect each other for being different. Because in the differences that we embrace the unity of the spirit, challenging us to become all we're called to be in our own unique ways. And today, as we begin this theme, I'd like to share a very special song that we actually had at an event in Ottawa, Gatineau, in the Museum of History Canada for Birth 2012. And it was a song, a very special song on love, peace, and harmony. One song that can change the world. And when we look at the power of music, Kim is opening every day with the power of love and song with her daughter. And what a wonderful example to live the joy we've come from. For when we look at songs and we look at the theme love, we can see that love melts all blockages and transforms all life. And when we sing and love from the joys of our hearts, we gain more insights on how we can lighten up and experience forgiveness that brings inner joy and peace. We can begin to become more compassionate in ways that boost our energy, increase our stamina, empower our vitality, and create inner community with ourselves, so in the outer world we can bring forth an energy that affects the wider community. This is the energy of love, where we love our neighbor as ourselves because we take ourselves less seriously. Love and light heals, it rejuvenates, and it transforms relationships. And funnily enough, we can begin to see as we walk on the path of love, we begin to see the ancient prophecy, the lighting of the seventh fire, and the movement to the lighting of the eighth fire of sacred relationship. Despite what we see in the news and the TV, where the world is going through utter and inner turmoil, we begin to see that each of us as individuals have the power to walk more gently with ourselves. And as we begin to do that, we walk from the inner peace, where we take that inner peace out into our neighborhoods. And a smile to a person, an acknowledgement that they can be seen, can make the life of a person change. They feel valued and respected and seen for who they are, not for who someone wants them to be. So as we begin this wonderful gathering today, on a special day where my son was born in East Africa in Tanzania, 54 years ago, my son and daughter are swimming today in a beautiful spa close to our beautiful area of Gatineau, Aylmer, Quebec. And I'm here today having come from Aquafit. And in the waters of Mother Earth, what better way to bring us together today than to see that we've all been born close to waterways in some way, and that it's the waterways of the world that connects and unifies us all as one universal human family. And so thank you, Kim, for being here today, and Joey, and for others that join us later on in the week when we get all of our YouTube videos up. For those that are looking for having the light and love of spirit in their hearts awaken, we hope our conversations will help you to live and have that hope that there are better days ahead, as each of us takes that time to use the word love to be more caring and kind and patient with ourselves. And so on that wonderful gift of knowingness, I'll pass it on to these two young, beautiful, beautiful souls that are traveling the journey of Judith, awakening to the best inside each other and ourselves. So let's have a blessed day and join the conversation. Kim, can you start us off?
Yeah, just reflecting on this theme of love and how you mentioned about the morning dance parties that I have. If you guys are on my email list, then you get them every day. Well, every weekday you get them. And it's all about just bringing that love and light into our physical reality, into our bodies. So allowing our bodies to have an opportunity to aliven and awaken each morning, each day, expressing that love. And it's really been, for myself, it's been really freeing, because I don't worry so much about like how we're performing on camera or anything like that. My daughter will be she's a kid, so she'll be a kid, and she'll do silly things, and she plays with her stuffed animal and makes them do flips, and randomly, like while we're dancing, she'll just stop and want a hug or something. And at first I was like, we're dancing right now, but then I'm like, well, you're hugging me, let me just hug you. So we just go with the flow, every morning, expressing that love. So that's one way. Over the past 2 months now, since January, that I've been making an effort to express that love, like physically in my body, bringing it forward into my environment, my home, my family, my environment. So it's been really fun.
Wonderful. And let's build on that, Joey. I know you've had a wonderful experience in the last month that's related to this theme.
Yeah, so I stopped in Ojo Caliente, New Mexico. Was there at the hot springs for about 4 days, um, and built even more of a love for water. Just hot springs, or just have a sense of reverence in it, that kind of comes, that's imbued in it, I guess, to have hot flowing natural water inside of pools. And the place I went to actually had like some copper piping that would come out above the pools and then just flow water out of it. And so you'd have this like heavy stream of water that you can go beneath, and experience the love of water as it pushes onto your muscles, the heated mineralized water, um, and to be able to dunk your head underneath, is just such a beautiful experience to be able to be in a natural environment outdoors, and also have hot spring water when it's freezing outside. It was always difficult to get out of the water, because then you'd have to transition from pool to pool and such, and it'd be freezing, but that would be its own experience as well. And then I also experienced Watsu for the first time, which is water shiatsu. And in that practice of massage, I had essentially floaties around my legs, which would bring my legs up to the surface. And the practitioner held the back of my head, and would do different movements of pulling my arms and wiggling my body, and moving in the water. And building that trust relationship where it felt essentially like a dance in a sense, and becoming one with the water, surrendering to the movements that the practitioner would use her energy to push through me, which also felt like love was imbued in that as well as it being very, very primal and womb-like. So it's very special to build this trust with somebody that I barely met. I had a regular massage appointment with her a couple of days previous, learned that she did this, and then she offered that to me. And I was just so grateful to be able to experience it, because it's something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And it's interesting to have like a love for somebody else that I just barely met, simply because of the environment of massage by itself, because of the intimacy of it and the trust of it. And then to build that into the water experience, that brought this entire other sense of love as well, for somebody that I barely knew, to share that intimacy and trust, and just surrender to the process of it. And I've it's hard to put into words, but I think what I experienced after the massage was like the deepest level of contentment and relaxation that I've ever felt. That was that combination of water and practitioner, as well as the environment of that reverence that I was speaking about with the hot waters and so forth. And still trying to put words to it today, but it was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, thanks for asking about that, Judith. It was definitely an experience I'll take going forward, and hope more people can experience themselves too. It was beautiful.
How beautiful, Joey and Kim, how beautiful that you have your beautiful daughter that sing together every day in that oneness experience of having joy and fun. And Joey, to have that experience, it reminds me of midwives and the birthing of children. And can you imagine how ancient societies, when a newborn child was coming into a community, the whole village would come together to create sacred rites to welcome that child. And what I'm beginning to understand is how significant it is that we can relax in the water when we're given birth. How healing it could be for future mothers and fathers to be present to the birth of a child in water, in a way that the child could come through in a more natural way, to be born in the water of that experience of the whole family being present to a sacred rite of welcoming a soul to planet Earth in that oneness experience. And when you're talking, Joey, about how you've trusted someone to help you feel and your whole body to relax, that you could experience the oneness with the elements of the water from which you too were born, and from which we all come through the water of our mothers breaking. And when I'm thinking of your story, it relates to the blessing of the water song, the ceremony that they have been blessed to have from the Algonquin and Anishinaabe grandmothers being gifted many years ago by spirit, a song that really speaks of the significance of the womb of women that give birth, and the significance of water and the birth of a newborn child coming through, and how important it is the waterways all over Mother Earth are kept clean as possible, so that new life can always flourish in the waters of Earth. And what we're seeing now, we're living in these times of great inner and outer transformation, to see that what we create, we go out into the world, whatever energies those are. So if we can live more from love and peace and harmony, as I was talking about in the song, and we can put our experiences and our feelings of what you just experienced into that oneness of bringing forth that energy in the days ahead. It's in experiences of life, like Kim and her daughter are doing, bringing forth that energy that creates our greater capacity to feel, and then stay in that feeling, and later as we explore, bring forth the language that helps others to see perhaps they too one day could experience what made your life so impacted in that moment by another human being. Imagine the healing that can happen on the planet as we experience that oneness with others.
Yeah, completely. And I was just kind of, as you were speaking, was thinking too of how much it was similar to Kim's story about dancing in the morning, and with her child as well. It's like it was very much the same. It's like it's almost like we surrender to the music, and the music imbibes movement within us, as well as like relationship and connection with those around us, like that interplay between the two. And that's how I felt very similar. It's like music is through the air, but it's almost fluid like water. And that me being in the water, the practitioner, was kind of the same thing. It's like her movements were creating the music in the water, and me surrendering to the movements was the dance, sort of. And so like the flowy nature between the two, as well as what you're speaking as well, Judith, is that like the birthing process is also a surrendering and a dance as well. And so, but then all of that is like surrounded by this sense of love and acceptance and trust that kind of is imbibed within all of it. Sorry, Judith, you were saying more though. Go ahead.
So the letting go to be free to have the experience, Joy. So thanks for building on that. Because I think what we're finding, we're living in such traumatic times of people experiencing so much stress in their bodies, that what happens is we've all gone through trauma, because being human is very difficult to live at this dimension of reality. And so in the healing process of coming back into our own physical bodies, to be able to experience wellness and oneness with ourselves, with the cells and the liveness of energy that we are. Kim, you and your daughter, tell us a little bit about you, what you're experiencing. I love the playfulness that you're naturally showing people that are joining you every morning. You're having fun with your daughter. What a beautiful example for other parents. The modern parent is under so much pressure now. And what a wonderful way to help families get together and start their day, to have a song before breakfast. It's kind of like a rite of prayer, rite of passage, to say, this is going to be a joyful day. We're starting it from joy. So tell us more, Kim, what inspired you to do these beautiful things with your daughter?
Well, it's funny. It's and I shared a little bit about this last month on our call as well, that there was one morning near the beat, like the first week of January. I don't remember exactly what day it was, but um I really just did not feel like moving or getting out of bed. I felt like I wanted the holiday to keep going, and I didn't want to go back to work, and I felt sluggish and completely unmotivated to do anything. And a song came on the radio, and I don't remember which one it was, but it was a song that I liked, and I just started moving my body a little to the song, allowing myself to dance. And I noticed that I felt better. And then it occurred to me, I was like, I can control how I'm feeling. If I'm having a really crappy day where I have this low energy, I can take charge of that and I can create a shift in real time. And so that kind of sparked the idea of, why don't I do that? If a music, a song is what helped me to shift that, why don't I practice that every day? And for some reason, I felt inspired to share it with my community. So I did it as a live, recording, and shared it with my email list and invited people to join me, and just started doing them every day. And it kind of grew organically. I didn't plan on doing a daily practice, but it just kind of happened that way. And people were responding and said they really enjoyed it. So now it's a thing. Now it's a thing we do Monday through Friday, so that I can have weekends off to, to like travel or do whatever. But it really, like, it feels like a nice routine. Like, and my daughter too, like, it helps motivate her to get through her morning routine as she's getting ready for school. She'll often ask me as we're going through the day, or she'll eat breakfast right before we jump on the camera, and she'll be like, is it time for the dance party yet? Is it time? Like, she's asking the whole time until it's 8 o'clock, because it's at 8 o'clock Eastern. So, and she knows the time too. Like, she's starting to help me talk and announce things in in the dance party, because she's right there with me. So she hears the things that I'm saying and repeats it, and it's just been fun. It's getting both of us used to expressing ourselves openly, authentically, and fully, like, in front of people on a camera, and at first I was like, this is kind of strange. Like, the first couple days, it was like not wanting to necessarily go wild and crazy on camera in front, knowing that I was going to send it to everyone on my email list. But as we've gone on, it, like, it feels like we're creating a community
Mhm.
on with us every single day. And so we've come to know them, we've come to engage in conversation with them, and it's like a little relationship that we have going on. My daughter asks about them if they're not there, so it's like we're creating this community, and it's all based on authenticity. authentic expression, because the whole idea is that we're not putting up this facade of, let me try to show off the best moves on camera or anything like that. It's literally just, let's put on a song and let's just jam and let's just go with the flow and let's be wild and crazy if we want to, if and or if we don't want to, like, do what you're feeling in the moment so that you're being authentic in your expression. So that, I mean, that's kind of how it started. And now we're going to keep going for as long as we want to go, I guess. I committed to this year. So it's going to be at least this year that we are going to do this, and then we'll see where it goes from there. We're just going to kind of follow the energy.
And I love it because it's so spontaneous. I finally managed to get on to watch yesterday. And what I found was it's so natural and so fluid and authentic. And I think that's what people are yearning for. When we talk about the word love, love is just a word. But when you can connect with a complete stranger or meet an old friend like you've never been away, and you're spontaneously connecting and you're in the flow of being fully human, fully real to who you are at the given moment. And there's nothing more healing. And to get back to the song, Love, Peace, and Healing, I'm just going to read some of the lines to it because it's very, very simple. And I don't want to take credit for this song. And I would say if people could just YouTube it and go to Love, Peace, Harmony, they'll find who created the song. And the song goes like this in the English translation. And in fact, it's a song from the soul language. It goes like this in English. I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. Now that could be an opening for the songs of your jam session with your daughter. And I sense as you do something like that, it invites others to be inspired to spontaneously do it with their communities. It's a good way to awaken up in every new day and give thanks and gratitude that we're moving in the flow of new life in every new day. The yesterday is past. We're going to learn from what we don't maybe want to have happen in our lives. And we're going to take an opportunity for the new space in the new day to create something that gives us joy, that brings joy to others. And then that movement, humanity can keep moving forward and never going back. Forward to the always more that we were talking about a moment ago, to new experiences like Joy was talking about. So Joy, speaking of that, tell us more. You've been out on a wonderful journey and you've experienced that. Now, what's next on your list of doing something new and different where you experience that oneness again?
It's a good question. I don't know if I exactly have an answer yet. I'm kind of transitioning my business a little bit. I'm doing the emotional healing stuff still. It's not exactly where I want it to go yet, so I'm still kind of building the online presence and getting more clients in that sense. Just actually got one a couple days ago, which I was really proud about. So I'll be working with that person sometime next week. They prepaid for it, so just getting the scheduling going. So it was actually really nice because I haven't done that in a little while. So it's really good to be in that role again and start to share the work that I do. And I'm excited to actually do a session with them next week and see how that goes. And then I'm also I do bookkeeping on the side for, I guess, my adult job or whatever you would call it, my real life job. Even though I think they're both real life jobs to begin with, more conventional, I guess is the word. And I'm wanting to transition that bookkeeping business to also be in the world of Bitcoin, which I know is something we don't talk about here, but it's a internet native money essentially. And so I'm looking to help businesses to start to accept Bitcoin, as well as work with people who are already Bitcoiners, so to speak. They already believe in the idea of a neutral money, non-government owned money that gives more power and freedom and self-sovereignty to individuals to be able to use that. So I'm wanting to put both of those businesses together and to have them be able to work separately as well as together in a sense, because for my emotional healing side, as an emotional healing practitioner, that's what I feel it is emotional self-sovereignty, where we get the ability to take responsibility and have control over our own emotional healing. And for the money side of things, with the Bitcoin stuff, that feels similar to me as well, that we all have a God-given right to be able to have a money that doesn't inflate over time and actually increases its purchasing power over time. And we all have the ability to be able to transact without intermediaries or third parties who decide whether we can be banked or not, whether we can transact or not. So yeah, I don't want to go down the road all the way as to what all those things are, but I do believe that they have a lot of strings of similarities between them. So I'm just in the beginnings of getting both of those businesses in the place I know that they can be, and provide more self-sovereignty to people, because they've positively impacted my life, and I know it can for others as well. And for Kim, hearing your story earlier, I really love the idea, like the ideas that were coming to my head about it were uh, trying to bring it back, like permission to play, that it felt in the sense that you were imbibing that into your community of like, I'm going to be here, show up if you want to, you can sit back and watch, or you can join the party and play. And then like it has a sense of vulnerability as well, because you're expressing yourself in the moment to the movement of the music, and also just inviting people to allow themselves to play with no requirement for anything. And I believe truly that that's kind of what brings us back to love, that's in a way what love is this dance, this playfulness, this invitation for uncertainty, and that it also requires a sense of vulnerability. And by choosing to get into that type of game, I think it's natural to all of us, even though culturally, I think it's almost that it brings a lot of fear for people also. And I really appreciate what you're doing. And I think it shows that people are hungry for it, because your community has shown up and joined you in that process. It sounds like maybe it was surprising how many people did join you and are continuing to join you, in a sense, like you never know. And it's so beautiful. I'm excited for you as well, that like that it's gaining momentum, and you're choosing to do this for the rest of the year just to see where it goes. So I'm so happy for you. Thanks for sharing that, because I've been seeing the emails and I haven't joined yet, but I've been really curious and excited that it's doing so well for you.
And I would love it to just link it to our programs, because I think people miss human contact.
Yes.
We were talking about earlier, the energy of connection is what expands the love energy of which what we are. We're created from love, in a capacity of being able to be present to ourselves in better ways beyond the trauma of the work that many like you do, Joey. We all come with some degree of trauma, and that affects the body, the mind, and the spirit. So as we begin to ponder, why is it, there's a saying that as people get older, they become like little children. Now, as a person that's coming close to my 79th birthday, I can relate to the spirit of love and joy and gratitude. I'm a very lucky, privileged woman, blessed to be born in a continent called North America with freedom of choice. And so when we look at something we take for granted and we don't see the significance of our lives, and how lucky I was able to be born in the late 40s, mid 40s, in a time where things were so much simpler. And to look at the speed of life at which people are living, the modern parents of today, the children of today, how the older ones can help us slow it down a little bit, so we begin to live in gratitude of seeing that what we're doing to nature, we're actually doing to ourselves now. And the reason the older ones can see it is we have seen what it used to be and what it can be once more. As people begin to grow in relationship with themselves, to know that they have the freedom of choice. I can create a new relationship with money. I can take responsibility for my choices in new ways, by which I use my money to invest in me. I don't use my money to be in debt and to live as a victim, always in need. So we have a process happening all over the planet right now It's like there's a beautiful tool called technology. Now, we hear a lot about the bad effects of technology, but we don't often hear of the good, positive effects of technology bringing people together to have conversations of the heart and soul that inspire us to get out every day, get out of bed in a new way, to know there's something called hope. Now, where does hope come from? Well, it springs eternally from every soul deep within our core, to know that we're here for a reason that we can't understand, and we don't have to understand it. Our job is to experience it, to experience being fully alive as human beings, living a life that hopefully can affect others to get up every morning and feel better because it's a new day and they can get better at being human. So there's so many possibilities on this path forward for all humanity now, to take a stand and say, that's not for me, this is for me. I'm going to make a difference by the choices I make in my life, to no longer be a victim, but to be a victor of living a life fully worth living. So as we do this dance of the soul, swimming in water, singing, laughing is the greatest medicine. Can we look at time as being just something that we need in order to survive as a humanity, but look at time as endless, as eternity being endless, as life being golden? And our job as human beings is to find the gold. Find the gold and then bring the gold to others. And what is gold? Nothing but this thing called pure love. From the heart, from my heart to yours, and yours to everyone else listening today. I hope that love keeps building in 2023, because with the self-love that we can give to ourselves, and if I can't give it to myself, I cannot give it to another. So it begins with each and every one of us, loving and caring for ourselves in new ways. So I'd like to sort of help you guys as young people to see that there's hope in every new day as the elders start to live from life and joy, sing and dance and drum. Whatever we're doing, all ages, let's do it together, because together the new human being is rising up to embrace life in its fullest. So Kim and Joey, would you like to add a few comments? I know we're getting close to our closing today. And to just remind everyone that's listening in future podcasts that we'll be putting up, the next one will be on March the 20th, and we'll be discussing health and how we've been affected in the last 4 weeks and what does that mean to us. So would you like to come to an ending of both of you making some closing comments on what this last 4 weeks has been for you as it leads us into this powerful word called love in the next 4 weeks? Kim, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, let's see. I think just moving forward, like I'll certainly continue. I'll continue to be authentic and do my dance parties every morning. Um, and really another thing that I've been doing recently in the past couple weeks is really committing to being more authentic and creating new connections with people just like online, or friends that I've lost contact with, different people, like really being open to creating new relationships. Because last year, in 2022, I really spent much of the year being kind of like a hermit, like not really. I was not on Facebook pretty much at all, and many of my friends are on there. Um, and so I lost connection with a lot of people over the past year, just because I felt like I was going through this time and space where I needed to be alone and kind of with my own self. And now I'm feeling that shift and change. And so now I'm like, all right, it's time to like get out there and reconnect with these people that have been missing me and I've been missing them. So really being committed to creating new connections and reconnecting with people that I was connected to before, to apologize to them for not being around, but and also recommit to that process of, hey, I value the relationship that we have, and I am interested in what you're doing and what's going on in your life. and let's make a relationship. Let's create another connection, and let's see how we can support each other, because that's why we're here on the planet, is to support each other in love. And as you said, the goal is the love. We are love. We're made of love. That's always been like my stand. And you can't really be the love if you're not connecting with other people in that way of being willing to shine and show your love. Because they need it. They need to see it. Other people need to see your love because it gives them permission to be loved, to be seen, and to share their love with the people around them. So that's kind of my I feel like I'm gonna go off on a tangent if I keep talking, so I'm gonna stop. But that's like my
Love it.
stand, is just be willing to be open, to be the light, and connect with the people around you.
So well said. Joey, how could you add to that?
Yeah, really glad you said that, Kim, because I think that's kind of been on my mind recently, and made a couple efforts for that. It's interesting, like for me personally, being a student for so long, that it's like the natural process of that was, having peers and making friends and having those relationships and those connections just kind of being naturally part of schoolwork. Some of it's partly required, and then because of that, a lot of it comes out of it, and there's play and fun within that as well. And then not being in school essentially right before 2020, I'm in school for over 10 years, and then not being in school, it's like I kind of did the same thing, Kim. I went very inward. Had my online relationships and still connect with people virtually, but there wasn't that same thing of going to school and constantly being around other peers and then making friends and connections and talking outside of that. And I was just inward, which was great for what it was during that time, and I'm glad I had that time to do that. And now that it's been a couple years since then, realizing like where I am in my own lifespan, that you have to put an effort into it sometimes to do that. Like obviously I can connect with the people that have been in my life and have been relationships, friends or family otherwise, and I think I gravitated to those first. And then now I have the same intention as you, is like actually reaching out to those people that were maybe just more acquaintances, but I could see a good relationship with them, because we have a lot of similarities. And it takes one of those two to make the effort to continue the relationship and deepen it over time as well. As my dog is whining at me saying he wants some love as well. um, so as I've been getting into this more of this Bitcoin stuff, making a community with those people, I've made a couple of friends through that. And initially it was more on the other person's side. And then I'm realizing like, oh, like actually, I really enjoyed this relationship. I want it to continue. I have to make an effort too, because I've been so used to the school mentality where we have this thing that constantly brings us together on a schedule. So it just happens on its own. And so I'm happy to like now make that effort to do that, as well as when I go snowboarding. A lot of times I'll go solo because my friend that I usually go with is not in town currently. And so I'll randomly meet people on the slopes as well, and like making that effort to put myself out there and exchange numbers. And now it's the other side of like actually reaching out and contacting that person and letting them know when I'm going, and building those relationships. So it's interesting being at this age now and not having the school as a crutch in a way to like have those relationships to keep going. And now knowing that I want it and to put myself out there to do it. And so I'm really glad you brought that up, Kim, because I'm in the same place too. Like I think it's really important to keep those relationships going, and to find new ones, and to not always rely on the ones that you've had all your life, because you never know the people that you'll meet and the relationships you'll build and the networking and connections that it'll give you. I don't know if y'all can hear him. My little furry child is very happy and not happy to be on camera. He knows it. So I'm going to give him some love tune as well. So Judith, what about you as well? Love you to continue that, and then we'll close up here.
Yes, well, I just love this conversation where it's leading, because as the spiritual director, I look at life as the school of life, and the students are ready, the new teachers appear. Now, having said that, I've been blessed to be here long enough that I've had so many beautiful souls and teachers on my path of life. And so this wonderful time out from COVID, the most important work that I find I've done, and again, because of the recent death of my husband, is the deeper interior work of really getting to know me at a much deeper level than I ever would have if I hadn't gone through the trauma of deep loss. But having said that, the wonderful souls that have marked my life to be the person I am today, it's like there's a reconnection happening. Teachers along the path that helped me keep moving forward in my life, become more aware of who I was, are coming back into my life now. And when I'm finding, when I'm out in the world, it's like I'm attracting other people to me now that again are looking for a teacher. And you know, that old saying, when the student's ready, the teachers appear. So I just find this is a wonderful time to be alive when we can begin to awaken to the possibility of every new day, not just in the dog being a God spelled backwards, that can be our best friends with unconditional love. But COVID has helped us all to experience the greater capacity to love ourselves without judgment, so that we can be in the world by which we can be present to another human being, so they can tell their story and feel better because somebody listened deeply without judgment and saw the goodness in them. And that goodness is spreading out far and wide. And that's why that song is so important. We are the ones we have been waiting for. And I would just like to leave this with love, peace, and harmony in all of our hearts as we be present to ourselves every day in good ways. I would like to close with this prayer, a prayer of grace, where one song can change a world, one person's individual life, in the simplest of ways, can change another's day. And the better we can be present to that reality, that we are the ones we've been waiting for, and we are the ones bringing forth the goodness in not only our hearts, but the hearts of all we are blessed to meet. And each person is a teacher for all of us. And may the greatest teachers on the planet Earth, who all came here to express the greatest religion of all, from all universal spiritualities, the religion of love, take us through this beautiful month of December, where I'm blessed to have my son here for his birthday and to be here for my birthday and to truly celebrate the significance of family, family in all its forms. But may our one universal human family know that energy is everything. And what we send out is rising up planet Earth for the new human being to find that in every new day, we see what's the best inside ourselves and the best inside our neighbor flowing through a goodness, peace, hope, and love and harmony. So bless you all, and we'll look forward to seeing you all. And Joey, I would like to speak after we have our little thing for taping having stopped. Kim, thank you, because I know that I've been very amiss in not sending pictures to you, but I'll be in the flow next week. So I'll get on that job right away. And so bless you all and have a wonderful month. And we'll look all forward to seeing you. And hopefully you'll actually see my picture next month on March the 20th. And we're going to be speaking about health. Health, wellness, and gratitude go together with joy. So bless you all and take good care. Bye for now.
Bye for now, everyone. See you next time.